Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. I've had enough of this from you and from everyone else. I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you. Over.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur. I'm your host, David Strege, and here I have another review for you. And interesting enough, recently, the Inside Movies Galore and I, the crew, and I went on about this particular film, but I wanted to go on with my own thoughts about this film. It was filmed in 2008, and it was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, and he worked with Terrence Zdunich on this with the music and the screenplay, and this is Repo, the Genetic Opera. I have a copy of it, and it starred Alexa Vega, Anthony Stewart Head, Sarah Brightman, Paris Hilton, Ogre, Terrence Zdunich, Bill Moseley, and Paul Sorvino from Law and Order. And it was set in a dystopian world where apparently you can buy evidently body parts like hearts and lungs and things of that nature. They start to go. And there's a company that Paul Sorvino's character, he plays Roddy Largo, who manages a company that supplies parts from different people, and if you can't afford it, he sets up a payment plan, just like a car payment plan. And if you can't pay your payments, he sends a repo man to go after you to repossess your parts. And this is a musical. So I love Terrence Zdunich in this. He is kind of a narrator throughout the whole thing. But he stars in it as the grave robber, and yeah, he's robbing the graves of people and taking a syringe and taking what I consider like the essence of someone's soul. And evidently, whatever he takes from these people becomes like a drug on the street for others. And uh, it's very interesting because um, that beginning graveyard scene introduces us to the main character, who is Shiloh Wallace, played by Alexa Vega, who, as a little kid, she played in Spy Kids. But in here, she plays a young girl who has a blood disease, and her father, who just so happens to be Roddy Largo's main repo man, um, is trying to find a way to cure her of her blood disease, and he thought that he'd found it at one point in time. But unbeknownst to him, Roddy Largo had at one point in time switched the vials on him, and his wife died, and so in a way, um, Anthony Head's character Nathan has to do his bidding, and Shiloh doesn't know about her, the person that he's become, but he's always tried to protect her. And just as I love the grave robbers song, "The 21st Century Cure," I love Anthony Head's um, song that he sings to his wife Marnie, how he has kept her and raised their child to the best of his ability and tried to protect her from the wrongs that he knows that he does. And in a sense, Anthony Head has kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of character. Because on the one hand, you see the good that is within him, and then when he's ordered to repossess these organs, you can see that he kind of almost somewhat enjoys the work that he does, and it's like on the one hand he's got a very operatic voice, and on the other hand he's got a very growly, gravelly voice. So you get to see several different sides of Anthony Head um, in this musical. And I absolutely love it. Interesting enough, Roddy Largo, Paul Sorvino's character, he has three children that evidently he doesn't like. But they are Amber Sweet, Luigi Largo, and Pavi Largo. Um, Amber Sweet, she gets her high off, and Amber Sweet is played by Paris Hilton, believe it or not. So this is the second role that she kind of becomes known for, besides getting her head cut off in uh, House of Wax. And Bill Moseley, who has worked alongside Rob Zombie, he plays Luigi Largo, and his character is kind of a whiny little bitch kind of a character. And the most interesting of these characters is Pavi Largo, for he wears the faces of others, and his nickname is Ogre in here. Kevin Ogilvy. And there's a song that him and Bill Moseley sing together, and oddly, eerily enough, they kind of complement each other for some reason to me. I know that this film didn't do very well when it first came out, but this film has grown on me. The music, the people involved, the story, and I really feel for the father daughter characters in here because on the one hand you've got this man who can do all this evil, and he's trying to save his daughter, and on the other hand you got Shiloh, who is very innocent, and she she's bald underneath that, so you see her as like a leukemia patient of some sort, well, underneath all that, and Roddy Largo is just pure evil. His character, um, he um, ends up trying to bring her into the world because he realizes that she's got a very beautiful a voice, and he's trying to seduce her into believing that her father was in fact the murderer of her mother, when in fact he was in charge. And I guess I love what happens to Roddy Largo in the very end because ultimately he's going to die anyways. He found out that he has a terminal disease that he can't come back from, and no repossessed organs uh, are going to uh, help him continue to be in existence. And I think justice is kind of comes full circle in the end. Um, I love the feel of this musical. I love the music behind it. I love the acting involved. I know that the world itself looks somewhat CGI'd and whatnot, but it is really well done. It was really well put together, and I absolutely love the atmosphere of the home that Shiloh lives in. For some reason, I love the fact that these portraits that are on the wall, they are kind of like 3D hologramic. Um, I also like the fact that um, the mother's best friend, um, somehow she was given some eyes that could project holographic images, and that was kind of cool. So there were areas of this film that were really, really cool. But this is also a very, very dark world. Um, for example, when the grave robber is singing about the 21st century, they enter this cavern that has all these like dead bodies, and they're trying to hide from the Repo Man. Um, just seeing all of these bodies and seeing what how many people were dead. That is a very dark world. In any case, I totally recommend this movie for anyone involved of anyone into horror or whatnot. I think this film got a bad rap in the very beginning, um, uh, and over time it's gathered a cult following of sorts, and I just love the world that uh, um, was created. And no, I would not want to live in this world, but the characters went with the music, and uh, it was just enjoyable. I can somewhat relate to some of the music, and that's what I enjoy. In any case, Hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe my page or my channel if you have not. Definitely check out some of my other reviews. I'm definitely gonna talk about more cool things coming up. I love talking about films and I love sharing what I get. So definitely check this film out. Give it give it a watch. I enjoyed it.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?